Why, hello there, fellow hunters. Rodamont here. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story Primitive Survival, Episode 43, Misguided Night Jungle Run. So before I kick off, let's go check up on the blood sausage offal to see if it's ready for processing. It needs to be cooked. And the issue with cooking, and yeah, the game's like just loading up, so it's a little chunky for the moment. The issue with cooking is I don't really have anything to stuff into it. So we have 3 days left before that spoils. And the question I have, or the quick poll I have for you guys is, should I make sausages or keep doing lanterns? And I might have labeled this this poll a little wrong, but like whatever, you get the idea. So there you go. There it is above my head. Glitch, thank you for the cheer. So choose between Sausage Fest and Lantern Party while I check up on the farm. It doesn't look like anything is that close to maturing. Not yet. But even the new part of the farm is like almost halfway there, which is an impressive speed of growth. However, in this biome, it's like pretty safe to say that, you know, I can grow all seasons, which means I shouldn't have much of an issue making sure that we have lots of glorious food all the time. Alright, seems to me like you guys want Sausage Fest. I didn't leave the poll up very long, but let's talk about that. So we would want, like, some sort of raw sausage. So blood sausage is the offal, you know, the organ meat of the things we've killed that have been cleaned, and we have 20 of those. Then we need blood. And then we need some sort of meat. Whether it's like red meat or bush meat or poultry or cured meat. But smoked meat, as far as I am aware, does not work. And I will confirm that right now, just to make sure that I'm not like spinning my wheels. Because maybe it would magically be fine. And then if you're wondering what the sausages are good for, the cooked sausages are just eaten, you know, like an end food. You know, I don't think they go into anything else. They're the end product. So we've got the smoked plain meat, offal, and blood. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the recipe for sausage, which does not work with the smoked plain red meat. So that means we will have to do some additional hunting, which is like a feedback loop, which is kind of funny because then we end up with more sausage. But we haven't had sausage yet, so I figure, you know, why not make it for the first time? Has some novelty. All right, so that means that we need to go hunting for some blood sausage, or rather for any meat filler that would go into the sausage. Now, the caveat there is we've been doing a pretty good job of like killing all the critters that are immediately around the base, so we might need to go a little further afield in order to find our quarry. That's fine. 'Tis what you want, 'tis what you get. So we're looking for really any prey. I'm not that picky. Can you smoke the sausages? As far as I know, you cannot. The recipes would be here. So, oh no, they can be smoked. So, smoked blood sausage. This would have 700 satiety versus what? 740? So it barely loses any satiety if we smoke them. So maybe that's actually the better route. Either way, we need the meat filler. And I did something dumb. If I'm hunting for meat, I need a butchery bag. Because I don't want to give up all my backpack slots to individually carrying corpses one at a time. Yeah, there's other uses for clean offal. We just voted on blood sausage. So, the other use cases for it aren't exactly relevant. The other thing we might want is a little bit more food and water before we actually depart, because I didn't really top up. I just ate my last meal. I don't think we have an active bowl of anything, though. Well, therein lies the problem. Maybe I'll just make some, like, grain porridge. Or bread. I'll make some rice bread. I don't think I've had rice bread yet. And, well, why not? I just picked some wild rice. So the lantern project will continue once I've obtained the blood sausages. So it's not like that got canceled by any means. It's just postponed. I can use fat instead of meat. I'm not going to want to do that, though. I'm going to be using my fat for, like, axles and the like. So I definitely do not want to go that route. Alright, I do have fresh well water. Perfect. Well, I had. And now I don't. Alright, if we want to make bread... line in the bread oven. I could also, like, stuff the offal into... like a meat pie or whatever, but I'm not gonna make a pie here. I'm just gonna make bread. Ooh, 50 liters of water. I don't believe I've had that much. Alright, the bread oven's heating up. I guess we have a bit of a storm passing. And then we'll just get a whole bunch of rice loaves, and then we'll be able to go back to our hunt. It is midday in-game, so there should be plenty of time to do the hunting after this is all done. Another thing I could do while I wait for that to heat up is check up on everything. The skeps are populated. That one's harvestable. That one's harvestable. So we could harvest, but I'm going to wait for the populations to grow a little bit more. And then these little guys need 4 more days of incubation. And we may have some more animals on our hands. Can you? No, you can't. I was wondering if I could, like, throw an egg. Like I was a delinquent in Halloween. Probably good that I can't. There. And we'll try to not burn any rice dough. I've been known to burn them, so I'll do what I can and not. So, speaking of resin run, I actually did add one more mod. So if you look at the details here, I have the bark beetle mod. And the bark beta mod there has resin make like... Oh, I didn't mean to pull that out. Has resin make noises when you're near it. Generally speaking, you know, I mean, it's just a way to find like resin better. Because resin is very hard to find. So, that's the only thing I've changed since. Just figured it needed mentioning. Well, if I'm just going to be having bread, I can put my bowl down. And pretty soon, we're going to have some rice bread. I wish you could make rice buns. That'd be great. Now, my CAD for grain is not quite as low as fruit. But after these meals, it should be right back up to the sort of normal range, I suspect. We also have a lot of fish, and that fish isn't going to keep for very long. It's good to know. So, grain CAD is almost maxed out again. And all we're needing to do is cook 2 more loaves after this. While I'm standing here, I might as well grind up the rest of the lime. We're going to need to go on another lime run sooner or later for if we're doing any additional lime washes. We have 5 scrape hives going through the week tannin cycle right now for more leather. Because we got our first batch of leather, and all I managed to really do out of it is like make a backpack. So, you know, that's another thing that we need to push for is like a decent amount of leather. Do I have any crocs for storing up some fish soup? I don't have any crocs, no. I haven't bothered with any crocs because we pretty much eat all the things that we end up cooking well before they're spoil timers. And if we don't, it's because they spoiled as a raw, ingredient. I don't think I've ever had like food spoil. Maybe like cooked meat, but not any meals. And I suspect that trend is going to continue. Oh, you know, my bread's probably burning. Yep, charred. Ooh, lovely. Well, it'll keep better as charred bread. I suspect that pattern is going to continue for quite some time because I don't do like a large batch cooking in the game generally, so there's not really a risk of me having a ton of spoilage as a result. So we're starting to get some more mature flax and rice. So we'll be harvesting that before I depart as well. Just to answer a question that I got, which was, why do I replace the soil? I thought I'd explain this, but in case that I didn't, in Vintage Story, different crops require different nutrients from the soil, and if you don't rotate your crops, you would subsequently need to replace the soil. So like for the rice and flax that I just harvested, it depleted the potassium out of the soil. So I could instead plant something back into the ground that was not potassium based. But if right now, because of the stuff I'm working on, I'm just mostly focusing on flax, which means because it depletes potassium, I just need to keep, putting new soil in there, because that's cheaper than trying to fertilize medium fertility soil. Basically, medium fertility soil is very replaceable, and there's not really a need to fertilize it Because why not just replace it and save yourself the cost? So that's essentially my tactic so far. Is anything on medium soil gets replaced, and then anything on high soil will get rotated and fertilized. And I think that's probably a pretty common tactic that all players likely take for farming. Because high fertility or higher soils are precious, because they're uncommon and they're high yield and they allow for quick growth, etc., etc. But medium fertility soil is just like, who cares? It's everywhere. Unless you're like in the desert or something. Alright, well, it took a while. Sorry about the delay. I'm sure more crops are about to mature. In fact, one of those rice is already mature, but let's go back to what we're working on before that clean offal gets ruined again. So I had mentioned... Oh, the bag. Oh my god. The only reason I came back was for that bag. Try this again. What's the percentage depletion? It depends on the crop you're planting. So it's variable. Okay, we're good. I have space for 3. Wasn't there 2 more bread in the oven? I already grabbed it. So I don't think the spot I have marked... Oh, jeez. I have marked down for boars is probably still accurate, as I've, like, been killing boars a lot around here. So I kind of doubt there's a lot of boars left. But if I go further east, where the oaks are, that's probably where we're going to find more boars. Also, I don't have my lantern. I must have left that back at camp. So I can't be out late, because I mean, I have torches, but I'd rather not rely on torchlight if I can help it. So we have a bit of a time limit. 2, I suppose. Was this just a lone flax plant? When does that ever happen? Huh, weird. And I had been mentioning, like, anytime I happen upon seeds out here, I might as well just grab them. Because at some point we're going to maybe expand the farm even more, and if we do that, we're going to want even more seeds. So, chat, I'm going to rely on your sharp eyes to spot additional boar. And given that it gets kind of mountainous here, maybe I'll go southeast, because it probably will be easier. It is... you know, it's almost nightfall. Oh, phooey. Well, we could use game meat. Bush meat. If I went after hares, but like, I'm going to need a lot of hares to fill up sausage. So that might not be like killing this thing. I don't know. I mean, who knows how many we get out of it. I've only ever skinned boars, so, but it got away. The other thing we could do is to head to the deserty biomes. Maybe that's a better plan. Is to head like up here, where we know hyena prowl. Because that's going to be, let me get rid of the pinned trap. That's going to be a little bit easier to reliably source stuff. Corpses. And yeah, it's getting dark. Okay, I'm not going to walk through that mountain. Let's go around. Haven't seen any game yet. Just absent any animals. Is this actually... I think what I marked down is like the plateau of a mountain. What I really want to be doing is going beyond it. Yeah, this is like... You could see this is like the summit. What I really want to be going is up here. I mixed the two up because they look the same on the topographical map. Well, doing the exact thing I said I didn't want to have to do. Don't you pinch me. Which is to use the torch, but you know, whatever. It's how it used to be, I guess. Yeah, there's also hyenas where the resin trees are too. Kind of hyenas everywhere. I was hoping to run into boar on my way out here, but I have not. And I somehow managed to pick the absolute worst terrain to take to get out here. I hate terrain like this, because you're like nearly blind to any threats until they're on top of you. I guess it's fine once you're like armored up, you know, when you're wearing like chain or plate. But when you're more or less naked, like my character, forests like these are very dangerous. Although we're almost out. Hey, turnips. I'm not going to bother with turnips. We'll never, ever, ever plant their seeds, so I don't feel the need to collect them. Even if we could eat them. It's like not worth the inventory space. Oh, well that we can collect. Filling up my fruit satiety, that's a good thing. I do find it strange that, like, wild berry bushes can have berries on them, but, like, transplanted ones will never grow. Like, how much of a black thumb does the player really have? Apparently quite one. Alright, so I think we're in hyena territory. I hope. Because generally it's like sandier and drier. At least historically. But with nightfall as it is, I can't find them at all. Not sure why I decided to hunt knowing that, well, it would have been fine had I left at noon. But then ended up doing a whole lot of prep and took a while. Making batches of bread and the like. Yeah, I don't, there's hyenas here, I certainly don't see them. Cassava, sure. I'll take that. Come on. Oh. Oh, I heard something bleating. What were you? And where are you? Because it'd also be really good to, you know, once we want to get into animal husbandry of non-chickens, and bees, I suppose, to mark down the closest locations of sheep, goat, you know, anything else that we could tame, or domesticate, I should say. We really don't have a complete survey of the local area. I don't really know where they would reside. And I'm gonna guess at higher elevations is where they're where they are, and that means, you know, doing a fair bit of mountain climbing anytime we want to find them, which is treacherous. There's no, like, fall damage reduction gear in the game. I'm gonna start working back to the base. I'll probably change gears and come back out tomorrow. We might as well just be doing metallurgy. Oh, hello. Chained Viper? Yes. On principle, I'm gonna kill you. Just because you and your lot have bit me in the past. Plus, your food. Sort of. You're not food yet, but you will be. Wow, that's quite a vertical drop into a pond. Okay, I hear you. What are you? So I know what to mark down. Sheep? Goat? Well, I'll try to remember that the sand fields to the northeast have some sort of animal. Whatever it is. And maybe we make a return trip in the future to figure out the details. I don't really want to be going that way anyway. Can I make snake sausage? No, I don't believe you can. I think it has to be red or bush meat or poultry. It has to be one of the vanilla meats. It can't be a modded meat. Basically, it's a mod conflict thing. Of two different mods, not taking into account one another's content in technical terms. Which means, because the snakes are from the primitive survival mod, and the blood sausages are from the butchering mod. So, the butchering mod is only going to allow for vanilla meat that belongs in sausage to be included in the recipe. Well, this has been wildly unsuccessful. Just cut our losses and get home. Is this the... No, I'm skirting around it. Okay. Wanted to make sure I wasn't, like, trying to scale up the mountain again. Too bad antivenoms is too labor intensive for a game like this? Yes. And also, like... in real life, we use, like, horses for it. And, I suppose you could make the argument of, like, well, you should be able to use, like, any large mammal. And, like, maybe that's true, but... I don't think I think more the fact that the player doesn't get bit or stung often enough to even warrant bothering to make antivenom. And then even if you did have it, I don't know, I don't see the utility of it really at all. Okay, apparently I am deciding to scale the mountain because I'm stubborn and I'm not gonna, like, find another way. But I had wanted to know if there were, like, animals up in these higher elevations. Because generally the higher elevations are also cooler, so keep in mind it's like 19 Celsius where I am. Granted, it is about midnight. Oh, hey, horsetail. That's, must be like a high elevation thing. Yeah, there's a whole lot of horsetail here. So for those that don't know, horsetail is a flower that you can make into healing items, and this is the first I've seen it. Because I guess it's doesn't spawn at high temperatures, but at the elevation I'm at, because the elevation in this game is, like, accentuated, or, like, you don't have to go up too high in elevation. Yes, and we also have peat here too. which is cheap fuel. Interesting finds. I think it might be worth doing some like mountain survey at some point, because it seems like, having not climbed the mountains around me, I'm like missing out on a lot of potential resources that I thought were more scarce than they might have been. Something like that. Alright, I know that there's more resources up here, but let's try to carefully scale back down. Oh, we're up in the redwoods. Right, yeah, this is the redwood area. Oh boy. This is gonna be, fun. I can't even... Well, let's hope that there's... Oh, okay. It was far, but not fatally so. How far is it from my base? Would I ever put berries up there? Nah. There's better ways to get my fruit satiety, I think. It's not that it's far from my base, it's just that like creating a flat terrain... Oh, you're just a rat snake. Creating a flat terrain up there, a path, a ladders, you know. It's maybe worth reminding everyone, this is a role-playing run. Primitive survival. Which is one of the reasons why I said I'm not going to bother with steel, because steel is not primitive. Or any of the other mega projects. No refractory, no beehive kiln. None of that really makes sense in a primitive setting. I will get a windmill, but not like a high-tech one. And this is all in keeping with the ultimate goal of the series and the theme. So projects that propose me doing anything other than what I would consider thematic are just not going to be undertaken. All right. Well, we got more flax. Let's put the meat away, and then my lantern. It's bright over there, so it must be over there. Guess we'll keep the currants. So my fruit satiety has almost... I'll just eat the rest of it. I've almost caught back up to everything else, which is good. Put all these seeds away, and then we'll go back to metallurgy. Yes, the earthworm grunter is a farming tool. I'll put it out with the farm. Now, I know some of the plants out here were harvestable, but I'm not going to bother doing that at night, because I can't see anything. So, for the lantern, what we're going to need for the remainder of the lantern is clear quartz and gold. And I have just repaired my bronze pickaxe. So let's go descend into the caves again and get some gold and clear quartz, which is what we need. Hey, Frenchie, thank you for the resub. And Bergon, too. And Emotional. Cheers. Oh, I still have my, my butcher bag. But for gold and quartz, I don't think I'm going to need. a lot of inventory space anyway. So that's bismuth. This is the wrong way. So yeah, the bag is red, the slots, because they're only for carcasses. They're reserved for butchering. How does this part of the cave connect to the other part? I thought it connected through here. Oh, it does. I just saw the bismuth and turned back too soon. So I'll get all the gold that is, like, visible. But then we're going to need to get enough quartz for the clear quartz, and we need at least 4 clear quartz. Because I don't have any, I don't have any bloomeries. I could make them, but I don't want to bother making bloomeries for smelting quartz when I can just get clear quartz instead. Right, there. Now I can put clear quartz in my bar and I'll know my progress. And this is to continue, and I suppose I should update the priority above my head. Make gold plates for lanterns. I know where gold is, not where silver is, so gold plates are going to be the lining of choice. Gilded lanterns. Okay, we already have the clear quartz, so I don't really need to worry about the quartz by itself. Just looking for the gold nodes. And this is like a different vein, because the one I just mined up was medium quality, and the previous one was bountiful, so there's like 2 separate veins of gold down here. Which is good. Yeah, this is the bountiful one. So I'll use the pro pick to figure out if there's any in the local area. Actually, low-key hoping that the pro pick breaks so I can repair it. So we'll do a node search here. And Radlock, I thank you for the resub and the cheer. Well, yes, okay. There is gold here, as I'm staring at it in the moment we pro pick it. But gold in medium amounts means there's like a pretty decent amount of gold right in this like vicinity. I'm trying to go in every... Oh, there we go. Some more. In every direction to find every tidbit. Oh, rich. Oh, well, that's a third vein. So we have a medium, a bountiful, and a rich. All, like, on top of one another. Fantastic. After these 2 more nuggets of gold, I might even have enough to, Oh, bountiful, rich. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have enough gold for the plates. Yeah, let's get back. Everything visible, I've mined. Perfect. Oh, I didn't see that right there. Cheers. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story Primitive Survival, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhodamont.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Seraphs,